Hey everyone, it's Sarah with RegisteredNurseRN.com, and today I'm going to make a video for you students who may be entering in the first semester of nursing school. So you have finally made it to nursing school. You have jumped through all those hoops they've made you jump through. You've went through interviews, you've completed prerequisite courses, you've completed entrance exams, and finally you are starting your first semester of nursing school. You're excited, a little scared, and you're watching this video because you want to know what to expect. So in this video, I want to go over some things you could expect. What I'm going to cover are classes I took during my first semester, the grades I got during that first semester, classes I found the most challenging compared to classes that I found that weren't that bad, how I studied for these courses, what shocked me most about the semester, and give you some quick tips on how I got through my first semester of nursing school. It is so exciting starting the first semester of nursing school. I attended a bachelor's program, which is the BSN program. And I didn't start my nursing courses until the second semester of my sophomore year. During the other time, I had to complete prerequisite courses like math, English, writing classes, electives, and things like that. And then once I got into the program, I actually started my nursing courses. So what courses did I actually take during my first semester of nursing school? Let's go over that. I was in class from Monday through Friday. So I had lecture courses during all that time. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I had a class called pathophysiology. Then also later on in the day, on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I had a class called health assessment. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had a class called Intro to the Nursing Profession. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I also had a class called Communications for Healthcare Professionals. Now let me go over what each of these classes covered and what I thought about them and what grades I got. Okay, out of all these classes right here, the hardest class of all was pathophysiology. I had heard from other students that pathophysiology was hard. Patho is sort of like anatomy and physiology. I don't know if you had to take anatomy and physiology in that you cover so much material and you're required to know a lot of material for one exam. But patho takes a little step further. It goes over complex diseases and a little bit of microbiology, and you have to know the critical thinking behind that. Because up till then, I was just taking courses that had exams that were really fact-based courses. But in pathophysiology, they give you signs and symptoms of diseases, and you have to analyze that and decide what it's causing it. And that's, I think, what made it so difficult. And then also, as a side, my professor that I had made the course a little bit more difficult too. But typically, students have problems with pathophysiology, and I'm going to give you some study tips for that class here in a second. But I ended up actually, believe it or not, getting an A-. But here's the catch. The reason I got an A- was because there was extra credit involved in the semester, and without the extra credit, I probably would have got a C or a B. It was a really big project we had to do. So I ended up getting an A-. Okay, the next course I had to take was called health assessment. It's a basic introductory class for nurses, where you are learning the body from head to toe, how to do a health assessment on a patient. You cover everything from assessing the ears, the eyes, to pelvic exams, to abdominal exams, everything. It was just a great class to learn what a nurse does. And I found that class very, very interesting and actually enjoyed it. But I ended up scoring a B+, which is a great grade. I'm happy with the B+, but I probably could have done a little bit better if I wasn't having to study so much for pathophysiology and complete the extra credit courses, because this class took a lot of my time compared to health assessment. Okay, the next class I took was called Intro to the Nursing Profession. This class was, again, just a basic introductory class and teaching us about the foundations of nursing, how it got started, talking about the founders of nursing, and we went over different nursing theories. We had to give some speeches, things like that. It was a very basic, easy class. It reminded me of a prerequisite class I had to take before I entered in nursing. It wasn't difficult at all. Then the next course I took was called Communication for Healthcare Professionals, and this was just a basic class that taught us how to communicate with doctors, how to communicate with patients, how to collect a health history, how to communicate with your other healthcare members, And I ended up getting an A in that class and also an A in the other class as well. Those were very basic, easy classes, and I was very thankful that I just had these easy classes on top of these two classes because they were a little bit more challenging, especially the pathophysiology. So let's talk about how I studied for these courses. Okay, I don't know if your nursing program is going to require you to take pathophysiology. A lot of times, most of the nursing programs do. So here's my tips on if you have to go through pathophysiology. First of all, for my patho class, we only had one teacher that taught it, so I was stuck with one teacher. Now, some universities, they have multiple teachers that teach this class. If that is the case, I really recommend you research, ask friends. You can go to this website called ratemyprofessor.com and look at their ratings, what other students have given them, and see who is the best teacher and take them. Because your professor can make or break this class. You want someone who can teach you this material very well and help you get ready for exams. So that's one thing. Next thing, I really recommend that you get like a little study guide that'll help complement the course. I know I cover this a lot, it's on my website and everything like that, but I always like to buy little study guides that is just a condensed little book that covers all the highlights of what's going to be on these exams. Because in patho, like I said, there's a lot of material you have to cover. And I recommend you can get them off Amazon.com. Amazon has cheap books. You can get the used books or maybe even the later editions. And a great book is called Patho Made Incredibly Easy by Lippincott. You can get that book, and what these study guides do is they hit the highlights of test questions that are normally covered on an exam, and it helps you narrow down what you have to study. So I really recommend that you get a study guide. And for the other things, other ways you can study, of course, is you can get in study groups if you study great with friends. Another thing I did for my patho class, our teacher let us record him whenever he gave lectures, and I noticed a lot of stuff that he said in his lectures were on the exams, so I'd always play his lectures over and over and listen to them and take notes, and that really helped me. Now to what shocked me the most about the program. I think going into the program, I expected more clinical time, either being able to go out into the community and learn how to deal with patients or just having some other type of clinical time. But really during that first semester, it was all about lecture class. We didn't get any clinical time at all. We didn't really get to practice skills. I think one day we had a skills lab for my health assessment class where we practiced some things, but we didn't get to do that. So I was a little bit bummed about that because I wanted to start IVs, I wanted to draw blood, give insulin, all those cool things that nurses get to do, but I really didn't get to do that until my second semester of nursing school, and then every semester afterwards we had clinicals. So your nursing program that you're entering may be different than mine, but that's how mine was set up, and that was the thing that shocked me most about the program. Then the second thing was that the test questions in nursing school were a lot different compared to my other classes, which were my undergrad prerequisite classes. And what I mean in that is that the nursing school classes contain like critical thinking questions. It wasn't like a fact-based question. And a fact-based question is like, what colors are in the rainbow? And then you list them. These critical thinking questions would give you all these facts and scenarios, and then you would have to analyze it, and you can't look in a book for the answer. You have to think of it and apply it to that question. And looking back on it, I see why they done that is because whenever you graduate from nursing school, you have to take what's called an NCLEX test. That's your boards, your licensing exam to practice as a nurse, and that is what type of questions are on the NCLEX. So that is why I had those type of questions, and it really shocked me that, wow, this is hard. And on my first couple of tests, I was stumped a little bit because I wasn't used to that. So always make sure that you're really digesting that material, not just memorizing facts as well. So let's talk about some quick semester tips. Here are some tips on how to get through your first semester of nursing school, because you're transitioning from non-nursing classes to nursing classes. So here's just some quick tips. First of all, stay organized. Either get a phone with an app that has a planner or get a physical planner. That's what I done. I like to have a physical copy. And plan out your week by week, because a lot of professors will give you a syllabus ahead of time that will tell you throughout the semester when your tests are, when projects are due, when care plans are due, and you need to copy that material into your planner so you can look ahead week by week and be planning, okay, when do I need to start studying for this test for patho? When's this project due for this class? When are clinicals? So you can stay ahead of the game and be ready for whatever's thrown at you. Because that's the thing with nursing school. You probably have already heard, man, I am so busy. And you are. They keep you very busy. But I think it's to teach us how to manage our time and how to stay organized whenever we are taking care of patients in a real job setting, because that's a key to being successful as a nurse. Next thing is, I'm just going to recap the study guides. I really recommend that if you're fixing to take a hard class and you've heard from other friends, oh, this class is hard, I really recommend you get one of those study guides that I was talking about. You can go to Amazon and type in the class and put study guide, and it'll bring up study guides. Always look at the reviews to see if it's a good study guide, or ask other students if they're good, because this will really help you for those exams. Because in nursing school you have to memorize so much material, but these study guides break it down into like little condensed pages and direct you in what way you need to study. And also, if your program offers any free teaching classes where students come who've already passed the courses and come and tutor you, I really recommend you take advantage of that, because they can help guide you on the tests. Or if you like to study in groups, get some friends together and study in groups, because that makes it fun. But me, I was a loner. I like to study all by myself. I get distracted because I want to talk to everyone about everything other than nursing, so that really didn't work with me. The study guides were the best for me, so always figure out what's the best for you. And a big thing, this is just a side note, a tip is try to keep away from people who tend to stress a lot, or who tend to be negative. I know a lot of times before we would have a test, I would be nervous about the test anyways, and someone would come in and they would start being like, oh no, this test is going to be hard, I barely even studied, or they'd start going over all this material and I'd start freaking out. I'm like, oh no, did I cover that enough? So try to be as positive as you can and surround yourself by positive people, because that negativity can really increase your nerves and stress you out and make you question yourself. So always be positive. And next, last but not least, have fun and don't stress. I know nursing school has a reputation of being so hard, and you hear horror stories that people don't pass, they fail. The pass rate for this class is 50% and so on. But really, nursing school, you can get through it. If I can get through it, I know you can get through it. Because nursing school is about just putting the effort in, making sure that you're able to deal with what they're throwing at you and study, and just give your time to it. And if you want to buckle down, if you want to start studying, if you're going to dedicate yourself to your studies, then you're going to do fine. And chances are, since you're watching this video and researching about nursing school, you're probably already really a good student, because you're wanting to know how to be prepared. So have fun, enjoy this time, because whenever you're out as a nurse, you're going to, believe it or not, you're going to really wish you were back in school, because you miss school, because working all the time 24/7, it gets a little monotonous and you get a little tired, and you would love to be back in class just listening to lectures. I would never have dare said that whenever I was a student. I remember thinking, man, I never want to go back to school, but at times I do miss it. But enjoy it, have fun, and make the most of it. So that was some quick tips on the first semester of nursing school, my experience with it, and I wish you the best of luck during your first semester of nursing school. I hope you enjoy it, and I know you're excited to be a nurse. And thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more teaching videos.